So after Charles Leclerc's win in Jeddah, just 21 points separate the entire top 4 drivers in the championship. This could be some scrap to the end of the season. And what better place to start that bit than in Abu Dhabi? What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 54 of the Mercedes career mode here on AHGP on F1 Manager. We're in 2025. We're gearing up for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix today. And as I said in the intro, just 21 points, if my maths is correct. I think it is. Separate or cover the entire top 4 here between Mercedes and Red Bull's drivers. So Lewis Hamilton leading the way, 7 points clear of George Russell, who's a point ahead of Max Verstappen. And then there's a 13-point gap back to Charles Leclerc, who won the last race in Saudi Arabia. Go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. Constructors' Championship, Red Bull closed the gap a little bit last time out, but Mercedes still hold a 22, is that point gap, I think, if my maths serves me right. Car updates. Nothing, well, it's just a couple of chassis that we've had to manufacture because the other ones got old. We are designing a new front wing and some side pods are due to be ready to manufacture soon. We are also researching for the big reg changes that are coming in 2026. If I can find that somewhere. Where will it be? Will it be on board? Rules and regulations. Here you go. So like we're getting a massive amount of just impact on everything. Look at it. Yeah. So we're hard at work researching for next year. Abu Dhabi hasn't always been kind to us. We almost got the win there last year. Let's see if we can turn it around this year. I'll see you in qualifying. I'm going to get the cars prepared and set up. Successfully into Q3 then here in Abu Dhabi. Charles Leclerc definitely looks like he is back because he has topped both Q1 and Q2. We're going to go out pretty much straight away here on a set of used soft tyres. We're actually going to be... Well, the Red Bulls are actually in between us. I thought we were ahead of both of them there for a second. So this could be interesting. Russell's probably not quite close enough to be giving Verstappen a tow on this first lap, but Hamilton absolutely will be getting a slipstream from Leclerc, although we're not fastest in the first sector yet, well at all. It looks like Red Bull have definitely got the pace early on in these opening laps. Verstappen goes fastest, Hamilton goes third, so our laps on the used tyres not so good. Leclerc putting 3.5 tenths on everybody.
Okay, so we're happy.
That was seriously impressive from him. Sainz has snuck in between. Ferrari, hello. Welcome to the front of the grid. They've been missing all season. In fact, they're missing Sergio Perez. Somehow, 2 Alfa Romeos have got into Q3 and Sergio Perez in a Ferrari hasn't. So, anyway, for us, we're 4th and 5th. So, we will need to definitely put on a fresh set of tyres and go for it on the final lap. Let's see. What I'm also doing is keeping 2 sets of softs ready for the race to see what strategy games we can play. So fresh set of boots on both cars. Let's see what the final laps have in store in Q3. We're actually 5th and 6th behind Gasly. We definitely need to pull out a lap here. Right, Red Bull have gone early with their final lap. Let's keep an eye on the sector times. Russell and Hamilton have only just come out of the pit lane to start their final effort. Verstappen a personal best in the first sector. A bit of traffic here in the form of a Ferrari of Sainz. Leclerc, I think, might have just had some traffic. Yeah, not an improvement from him. And a dodgy middle sector from Verstappen. Doesn't look like they're going to improve here. Let's see if Verstappen does indeed close the gap to his teammate. A little bit, but he stays second fastest. He did the fastest final sector of anybody. That's interesting. And there's more traffic here for Leclerc. So this could open the door for Mercedes. Does Leclerc improve? No improvements from the Monegasque driver. Hamilton has started his lap, as has George Russell. An improvement from both in the first sector, a 17.9 for each. I don't know what the fastest times are, but hopefully we are in the ballpark for a front row here, at least with one car, maybe even pole position. Personal bests from both drivers so far. We're now 6th and 7th. Lando Norris goes 4th fastest in the McLaren. Sainz doesn't improve to stay 3rd. Can we... Oh, that was a little bit wide from George Russell and Lewis. That's such a bizarre line that they're taking through the final sector. But anyway, George Russell across the line. Does he improve? He goes 2nd fastest. Lewis Hamilton goes 2nd fastest. We've split the Red Bulls with both cars. An excellent final run. We were still nearly 0.2 off of Leclerc. That first lap from Leclerc, I think he had such a massive slipstream from Verstappen that it just became unassailable. And no wonder he didn't improve on the final lap. But Charles Leclerc's back. Can he make it 2 wins in a row for Red Bull? But we are absolutely in the hunt here. I think it's the same order of the top 4 that we had in Jeddah. We just need to make sure we convert this into a win this time around. Let's see what the race has on offer. But first of all, we need to build a strategy. One that doesn't put us on the back foot this time. Strategy all set. And I know I said don't put a strategy on that might put us on the back foot, but I've underfueled by 5 laps and we're doing a 2-stop. So this could be a golden strategy or it could be one that's absolutely mudded. Soft, hard, medium. Remember last season we finished on softs and they basically ran out before the end. Yeah, I'm hoping that we can press on with the mediums a little bit more. We've got a spare set of softs if we need it. If there's a safety car, red flag, we can always switch to and sort of keep this strategy alive. Maybe if it's an early one, then we go on to another set of softs, try and pull away again, then go hards, mediums, and we can really push on them. Fuel, I'm trying to make this strategy work by underfueling, so we're lighter and we can get away, build a gap, come out in some decent position, because that's what hurt George Russell in Jeddah. Lewis Hamilton, we just didn't give him enough time to catch the 2 Red Bulls in the lead. Right, let's do another risky strategy. Let's do a motor race and see what happens. Lewis Hamilton looks like he's angling his car towards Charles Leclerc as we have 5 red lights. They were not held for long. The lights are out, the race is on. George Russell immediately looks like he's leaping into 2nd position. Is that Red Bull on mediums? It is. George, don't fight teammate. We need to just make sure we get through here. In fact, oh, he got ahead. Oh, this is stupid. And now he's down 3 positions. Why does it do that? Just let your teammate through. Right, here comes Lewis Hamilton driving clean air. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the position loss is Russell's fault, but Hamilton is just sending it. Off he goes. Thanks very much. George Russell, let's get you driving in clean air as well. Lewis Hamilton, just lick the stamp, send it. This is not the sort of overtaking, a little bit glitchy there from the game, but Hamilton through nonetheless. Leclerc, fair with Hamilton. I think Red Bull are on a 1-stop, medium to hard. That was sort of the primary strategy. I'm sure Russell will start making his progress through the field when DRS is activated. Alright, we have eventually broken the DRS gap back to Leclerc. We're now nearly 2 seconds clear of him as Jack Doohan has a spin. Verstappen and Russell are stuck behind Carlos Sainz, who's doing an excellent job in the Ferrari. So Russell, we might need to do something a little bit different with him. Maybe box him early, maybe turn him into maybe a 3-stop. Would that be crazy? Could be, as Verstappen starts to make some progress himself. Let's go driving clean air with George Russell. Can we follow the Ferrari? Yeah, follow the Ferrari through. Yeah, love it. Go on, George. Round the outside. George Russell on Verstappen. They're still wheel to wheel. And he's through. Maybe. Yes! Red flag? Red flag? What? What's going on here? Liam Lawson has crashed. Oh! And that's a hefty shunt for the Kiwi driver. He's in the wall. The race is stopped. Well, that was a dramatic 60 seconds, wasn't it? Okay, so we're going to restart first and fourth. This helps us out with the fuel. That's for sure. And what we're going to do here is stick on a new set of softs. This is exactly what I said we'd do. Basically, go with the softs. And... Well, do we use the softs now? And then just push the hard and medium stints further back so that they are... Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hards. I'm going to go mediums with George. Then we're going to go to hards and then softs if we need to. So set of mediums for George Russell. Any car parts need changing? No, we've only got one front wing left, so don't damage it, lads. With Lewis, I'm going to go with the softs because he's starting on pole. Get away, build a lead, and then just follow this strategy, but they'll just be a bit later on. So they've switched the two drivers at the front of the grid from the original start. 5 red lights, slightly longer hold. Lights are out, the race is on. Let's crack on with Lewis Hamilton. George Russell will turn the engine back up. Time penalty for Oliver Behrman, causing a collision. Right, Leclerc's on medium, Sainz on hards, Verstappen on hards. This is very, very interesting. Let's push with Lewis and just build a gap. George Russell is still driving in clean air. Leclerc is absolutely right on Hamilton's tail, but here goes George Russell. He's just gained 2 positions that he really needed to, and the red flag brings him very much into play with the leaders. Right, Lewis Hamilton's starting to build a gap at the front. I'm asking him just to go for it because he does need to build some sort of pit stop gap. Sainz has dropped 4 seconds behind this Russell and not Perez, Leclerc battle. Russell still driving in clean air and looks like he's about to take second place from the Red Bull. That's very good news for us. George Russell has now moved himself into second place, and I would assume he's probably following a very similar strategy to Leclerc. Hamilton is now doing a 3-stop essentially. Russell still on a 2. He'll be finishing on hards, but he'll have to manage them to the end. We have a virtual safety car, which comes a brilliant time here for Lewis Hamilton.
Just with the debris.
He can now pit.
Is he okay?
This is very good timing for Lewis Hamilton. You lose much less time. He might even come out ahead of Gasly. Our focus has been on Lewis to make sure he built the gap. He was going to come out sort of 9th or 10th. Gasly and Verstappen... Oh, he's right on Gasly there. That's interesting. So, he's actually come out ahead of Verstappen. This is wonderful news. Let's see if we can get George to catch the Red Bull. We've saved enough fuel now for the moment. Let's see if George can start closing the gap. Indeed, he is rapidly closing that gap. He's deploying and is now in DRS range. Verstappen has locked up. His race goes from bad to worse. He was 5th. And that is a big old lock-up for Max Verstappen. How many positions does he lose? 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is he? He's now in P10. Disaster for Max Verstappen. George Russell, on the other hand, is sizing up the opportunity of taking the lead in this race. Can he pass another Red Bull round the outside? He's going to have a look at it. He's still with it. Oh, Leclerc defends it well. But Russell still looking for that way through. Russell will be coming in shortly as well. He's looking for the lead. He's still deploying. We'll ask him to attack here. Go for it, George. Go for it. He's been asked to drive in clean air as well. Can we find the way through? We're going to jump on board as we fly past the Red Bull. Red Bull doesn't give you wings. ERS deployment and attacking on the tyres does. We'll go aggressive with the tyres for now. That was sweet as. Russell will box from the lead. Does the Red Bull follow him in? No, he doesn't. Leclerc stays out a bit longer. He is better on his tyres at this point, but he does also have a charging Lewis Hamilton closing him down. George Russell exits the pit lane, and he too comes out ahead of Verstappen, who is yet to stop again. Russell can now go to the end of the race on these tyres. Let's conserve while we've got some DRS. Hamilton is absolutely on it. I'm not sure where Russell's strategy is quite going to drop him towards the end of the race. I think he might even he might be in the lead, but have to defend quite heavily. Leclerc now pits. Slightly slow pit stop there, looked like. Where is the Monegasque going to pop out then? There he goes under the tunnel. He's going to be significantly behind Russell, who is now going to have DRS on Lando Norris to go past. We would prefer it if you did go past George. Let's attack. Leclerc is immediately past his teammate. Here goes George Russell up the inside. Job done. So Lewis Hamilton now leads this race. He's 16 seconds clear of Carlos Sainz. In fact, what I'll do is push and deploy, and now we'll drive in clean air. Get this overtake done. Oh, Sainz blocking us. Stop it. Oh, Russell going for it down the inside. It's very tight, but George Russell makes the move that gives him the net race lead in Abu Dhabi. Let's watch that, hopefully from a slightly different angle. No, it's going to give us exactly the same angle. Oh, that could have been Collision City, but Sainz was smart enough to give some space at the apex, and they all live to fight another day. George Russell's actually at peak confidence. We've got a virtual safety car again. Now who's crashed? Hamilton could box now, and actually the green flags are back.
Copy.
His pit window's open.
DRS enabled.
Okay, so Lewis, let's attack with you.
Lewis, it's hammer time.
It is indeed hammer time, Bono. George needs to defend from Leclerc. Oh, the Red Bull looks like he's going to sneak through and snatch what is essentially the race lead. That's not good news for George Russell, although if he can just sit with the Red Bull, that would be lovely jubbly. Can Hamilton open up a 20-second gap to this pair? It's unlikely. Let's see what you can achieve if we just turn it all the way up. It looks like it's coming down, actually. So what I'm going to do here is just pit Lewis now. Just do it now. Just give him a couple of extra laps to close him down. He's only going to be a few seconds behind. He'll almost certainly be ahead of Norris. Has Verstappen? Verstappen hasn't pitted. That VSC was a great opportunity for Red Bull to get onto some medium tyres. 2.9 second stop for Hamilton. Leclerc sets the fastest lap at 24.2. And they're going to be a few seconds up the road. Russell has dropped back here from Leclerc. We need to push with the engine. We'll also deploy and try and catch this Red Bull. There's Lewis Hamilton. He's really not far behind, is he? So Hamilton is in a fantastic position. He's only 3-4 seconds behind Leclerc, who's in the race lead. He's going to be hunting Leclerc down for the win for the second weekend in a row. He's got to pass his teammate to do it, but he's got so many more laps. He's got better tyres this time around. I think it'll just be a matter of time. Once he gets there, they won't have much defence. All right, 10 laps to go, and 2 has become 3 because Lewis Hamilton has joined the party at the front of the race as George Russell retakes the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And remember, George is 7 points behind Lewis, so if we were to finish first and second with George winning, they would be exactly level on points because Sainz has the fastest lap at the moment. So Russell is now trailing Leclerc. let's get Russell driving in clean air. Deploy and push. Hamilton, if you top up for now. George will just surely go through for the lead, although Leclerc is blocking his way. And then sweeping round the outside goes George Russell.
So no need to charge the pack.
And that is the lead for the world champion, although Leclerc coming straight back with DRS. Hamilton dropping out of DRS range here. That's not quite how I envisioned it panning out. So this is going to be a bit of an issue. Maybe what we do is get Lewis past George first. And then we just pounce on Leclerc with George later on. So yeah, here's what I'm going to do. Going to ask George not to fight his teammate. So as soon as Lewis arrives, he will just basically jump out the way. Although he's got DRS again. He's going for the lead. He's taking the lead. George Russell, he wants to win this race. He's got DRS for the second DRS zone. That's helpful for him. Really helpful. So maybe he can deploy now. He's just a tenth of a second behind the Red Bull. Not into turn one. Is it possible? Russell comfortably holding the lead at the moment. He's not lost the lead since taking it. Obviously, everybody having DRS behind him isn't helpful for making overtakes, although it's close enough here. He's going for it. Lewis Hamilton forcing his way through. You can hear the cheers. Lewis Hamilton gets second position. Oh no! Oh no, George! The don't fight teammate was still on and he's just given up 2 positions. Oh dear. Quick. Right, Lewis, vanish. Oh dear.
Just stay close to him.
I completely forgot I put that on. Oh. Lewis is just running away. That's fine. That's perfect because now
Yeah, we just need to make sure that
if Leclerc doesn't have DRS, George can recover this or he can fix this. It's okay. Don't drive in clean air yet. Now we're going to deploy. We're going to turn it up and ask him to drive in clean air this time. Hopefully with the DRS. There it goes. And through goes George Russell. My moment of ineptitude has been fixed. I don't need to put the clown emoji on my face again. But now we'll ask him not to fight teammate because there's no point. In fact, we might even lose the position again, which definitely isn't ideal. Just attack on the tyres, George. Give it everything you've got to keep Leclerc behind. But Lewis Hamilton has driven a great race. Eventually he found his way through those 2 overtakes. Although Russell did just give him the lead, he would have caught Russell and passed him anyway. A bit of a hectic race. Russell now within 1 second, but he's been told not to fight. And Hamilton is going to further extend his championship lead over George Russell. It's going to double in size to 14 points. But the key thing to note here is that Verstappen is only 9th, doesn't have DRS against Albon. So he's only going to pick up 3 points. As Lewis Hamilton scoops 25 to take victory in a Mercedes 1-2 in Abu Dhabi. Let's go.
Awesome race, mate.
Awesome race, absolutely. Well done to both drivers. George Russell twice giving up multiple positions because
checkered flags
of don't fight teammate instructions that I mistimed and forgot were there. But we've rescued him a P2. Charles Leclerc, a valiant competitor. Great to see Charles back on form. He made it very, very difficult. Celebrations for Mercedes. I think actually maybe what they need to do is when you have a 1-2, the 2 drivers celebrate together because that would be realistic. jumping for joy in the Mercedes garage. Lewis Hamilton giving it the old Sebastian Vettel finger, the number one. High fives all round. Trophies galore. I think we need to expand our trophy cabinet back at the factory. And confetti, woo! And champagne! Charles Leclerc looks like he's never held a bottle of champagne before. Yeah. That was a weird animation. Brilliant. So we did convert the second and third on the grid into the victory 1-2 finish as well this time around. Let's see what it does for the Constructors' Championship first. We have pulled a massive amount of points on Red Bull there. 274 versus 227. Ferrari edge back ahead of McLaren. Literally all the podiums have been taken by Mercedes and Red Bull this season. That's incredible. Somehow we're leading the championship, but we've only had one position to Red Bull's 4. Aston Martin have had one, and so have McLaren. Obviously, Norris winning the sprint in Bahrain. I tell a lie, Aston Martin have had a podium as well. What was that? Is that Baku? No, it was Bahrain, wasn't it? Stroll stole it on the last lap from Norris. Right, let's see what happened with the Drivers' Championship. Oh, that fastest lap keeps Verstappen in third in the championship, a point now ahead of Leclerc. Hamilton 144 points, 14 points clear of George Russell, who extends his gap to Verstappen to 16 points. Lando Norris now best of the rest. Perez had a bit of a shocker this weekend, no points for him. Carlos Sainz only on 30 points, that 4th place, his best result so far this season. So that was quite a race actually. I was sitting down to record this thinking it might not be the most exciting race, but a red flag, 2 virtual safety cars, a wacky strategy, and almost blowing the win. Russell throwing away positions needlessly because I told him to. I think it had plenty in there. Let me know what you thought of that race. What would you rate it out of 10? Hopefully the edit does it justice. I don't know how I'll edit it yet, but hopefully it's a good edit. Rate the race out of 10. And if you want more wacky, wild F1 manager action here on this channel, make sure you subscribe so you know every time a video drops. Give this video a like, see if you can get it shared amongst other people through the magical YouTube algorithm. Make sure you tune into my live streams at the weekends, although there won't be one this weekend. There might be one maybe Friday afternoon, but we'll see on that. Thanks very much for watching. You're the best fans. Celebrate that Mercedes 1-2, and I'll see you for the next race in Qatar. It's goodbye for now.